Welcome. It's time for another edition of the Bridging Insider. And today our guest is Daniel.
Hello.
And he's hoping that we can help him with...
So I actually had an issue with my foot a couple months ago, and it caused actually pretty excruciating pain on one of the pressure points near my pinky toe, and I had a really big issue walking. I was actually walking on the ball of my foot for about a month and a half, which was just not comfortable. I finally got to a doctor, and they were able to, scrape off all that was there, and now it's better, but I can't walk now properly. And one thing I really like doing is I like biking, and I can't get any power since then, and so, yeah.
So we've got kind of an injury, but a thing that happened and surgery, so that's a trauma, and then we want to help restore function from both of those. So a couple different things to be checking through today. I'm Cara Lindell, and I'm the founder of the Bridging Technique, and it's based on my unique background of being a systems engineer and an exercise specialist. And bridging itself is where we use physics of the body, the little micro movements and the flows, to address your pain and movement challenges. So let's get started. We're just going to check how everything is moving, standing, sitting, laying down, look at how the parts all work together. And so because of what happened with him, we've got two things we want to keep in mind. One, what did the little surgery procedure do to traumatize his foot? That in and of itself, but also the compensations before and afterwards. So two discrete things that we're going to be looking for and hoping to put back together. Ready?
Yeah, I actually feel right now all of my weight is on my left foot, and I'm not happy.
Okay, take half a step forward. We're just going to see how you move from side to side. We're looking for symmetry and ease of motion, but also some control. So I'm going to move you a little bit this way, and okay, so you don't go to the left. So whatever's going on in that foot is protecting your movement going to the left. And turning right. Turning is not as much affected. Let's see about forward and back. A little bit, but not as much. It's the balance between left and right, that seems to be off. Sit down. We're going to see if it threw off anything in your core. Sometimes an injury or trauma going on for a couple of months will actually have you compensating through the core.
Yeah, I actually have some low-level pain right over here.
Okay, so you go to the left, not so much to the right, or very differently to the right. So again, it's that left-right balance. And turning is good both ways, and forward and back. Very good. All right, lay down with your head over here. So the other thing that you would not know about Daniel, but I know, is I've known Daniel for quite a few years, and he is the owner of our studio here. But he got hit by a car when he was a kid on this leg, the one that he's got trouble with. So that may be a factor in things too. So we're just going to see if we lift. 1 and 2. Oh my gosh, the right one is so much lighter. Kind of hard to lift this left one. And does it roll in and out? Yes. So that's about the same. And we're going to see how does his leg seem to have a connection to his core, and that's okay. So far it just feels heavy. May need to, and it feels like it disconnects at the knee a little bit.
Yeah, my knee is not happy.
Okay, quick check on the upper, see if it affected that, and that connects in really well. Let's see about this one. Just a quick wiggle and in and out. Excellent. Let's see about shoulders. Very good. All right, head's bouncing around. And let's see overall. I'm going to just lift an arm and a leg. I'm going to roll you a little bit toward me. Okay, that moves. I'd like a little easier and smoother, but that is an okay starting point. Let's see about this one. Oh my gosh, I cannot even lift your legs, so we're not going to do that because I'm not going to throw my back out. Flip on your stomach. Let's check just a couple other things about the legs. And this may relate to the no power when pedaling. So that works pretty well. And this one, his hip's all jammed up. So yeah, this really threw him off quite a bit. Let's see if we're off center here. Not really. And just a quick check on shoulders, make sure they're they're equally solid. I'd like more movement on both of those, but that's
Me
not your
too.
concern for right now. Tell you what, why don't you flip on your back? And we're going to do just a little refreshing. So maybe the trauma between having the thing on the toes and how you had to walk differently, it may have just thrown off how the ankle, the knee, and the above the knee work together. So we're going to support those and just give them a quick refresher. So I'm going to bring this up. And we're going to so I'm using a peanut ball, deflated a little bit to provide some support, but also to provide some stability. So we're going to see how the above the knee and below the knee link together. And if you think of them screwing together, it feels like the screw is just off center a little bit. So we're just going to rock back and forth and then hold a little stretch and let that recenter. And when it does, here I can feel that the hip is shifting. So just a really quick reacquainted of the muscles above and below the knee. And we're going to keep repeating that till we get down to the foot, because it seems like the way that you had to compensate on your foot threw you off at your knee.
Yeah, I was effectively walking on the ball of my foot, like I said, and it was anytime I was starting to associate walking on my full foot with pain, and I could tell the entire time, oh no, it's gonna get off balance.
There we go. Okay, so knee, hip, ankle are starting to move a whole lot nicer together, and let's look at a couple of transitions that they go through. So we're looking at the different flows. So if I support below his knee and come up underneath it, I want to see that it bounces nice and easily, and not bad, but I think it could be better. And I'm going to use my little squishy peanut underneath to provide some support to the back of his knee. And we're just going to wiggle a little bit side to side, because that is the direction things are not matching up with. And help the muscles on the back side connect. And I feel the hip changing some more. So the hip really got thrown off by what was going on at the knee as well. There, okay, and knee just got a lot springier. We are going to do some work separately on your foot just to make sure that the sides of your foot work together better. But before we do that, I want to make sure that ankle and knee, that you've got the power back. So I'm going to swap out our supports and use a bigger one. Lift up both your knees, if you will, and put them down. First, I want to see if I can get them to transition. Yes. Okay. So then we're going to bring this one up. I'm going to support your heel, because hopefully that doesn't hurt. I want you to push out. And what I want to feel is that the hamstrings are actually doing what they're supposed to. So push out. And they're kind of a little sketchy on how they're working. So I'm going to give them a little support and let you push out again, because it's like I think we have to guide them into finding the way that they can work, which is a little bit of a circle in, which matches the disjoint at the knee. So got your knee a little off center. Push out again, just nice and gentle. There we go. And a couple more times. And very good. It's almost like we have to find the path that everything connects and then guide it to a better way of working. So to me, with my engineering background, it actually is electrical. And I kind of see the body as a big wiring problem. So if we've got the wiring going on here, sometimes we get loose wires, and we just need to get them so that they're a little bit tighter and working the circuits complete. There we go. All right. So now I want you to really push. Feel the hamstring work? Yeah. Yay. Okay, let's see if they are similar to each other. So push both. Good. Because we want them to be able to be the same speed and the same power, so that he can ride his bike and not feel like he's off center. All right, that seems to be pretty good. Let's see if we've got you centered. I'm going to put this in front. There we go. So let's see if this works. It's a little bit smoother. Let's see if I can pick the other side up. Oh, I can. Yay. And you move. Woo.
Nice.
All right, that's great. So sit up, and we're going to do a little bit to actually help your foot more specifically. So this would be, in the terms of the two parts that we talked about, it's like looking at the global implications to his movement from the procedure and the compensating. So that was at the hip and the knee. So we cleared those up and then got his hamstring to re-engage in that pushing out. Now we want to actually give that foot a little love and allow the outer edge and the inner edge of the foot to work together again. So we're going to prop it up here, and there we go. So you can see the surgery was right on the outer side of the foot, and the two sides ought to work together and just kind of be like a leveling foot where they can go back and forth. And this foot really wants to stay actually down on the outer edge. So that would be really uncomfortable. Plus it's not real stable. So we're just gonna hold it like that, give it a little wiggle. There are muscles in the bones of the foot. They are very tiny muscles, a lot more connective tissue. And it does shift, but we go a little slower and are more patient with it because feet are pretty stiff, but they need to be. There we go. So ankle is starting to change and foot's starting to reposition and move back and forth a whole lot easier. So what are you noticing?
I'm trying. I'm able to notice best when I can sort of, exercise a little bit and feel my foot moving, and I can usually feel it. So like right now, I'm just sort of watching.
Okay.
And I'm seeing that I'm getting an increased amount of motion that I know I couldn't do previously, but I could do before the injury.
Yeah. So just toggling it back and forth the way that it goes, like it just needs a brush up on how to move again. There we go. I just felt the middle inside start to move. All right, ankle starts to be more centered. So I'm going to very gently, because the compression to where it was hurt was right there. We're going to reacquaint the toes and the sole of the foot, like the pad area, and just kind of gradually go back and forth and get the top and the bottom, all of those muscles working together so that he can put pressure, because pedaling on a bike ends up putting a lot of pressure on the forefront.
Yeah, actually the exact area, and what I think happened was when I would bike a lot, and my pedal has a point which, pops into the shoe, and the spot right where it does that is right where my foot got that issue. So
the clip in the shoes?
They're
not clips?
It's just that specific area of pressure.
There we go.
No one seemed to really be sure when I went to the doctor how I got this. This is something that apparently you're either supposed to get from extreme exercise, and I don't think I was that passionate.
Not the extreme.
Or if you're like super old, and I feel neither of those quite.
Not super old yet.
No.
Okay. All right, so it's moving a whole lot easier between toes, middle of the foot, and then the ankle actually is also coming up and down a whole lot easier. Can you feel the ease of that?
Yeah, it doesn't. The thing I'm actually noticing, ironically, is the lack of pain.
Oh, hey, that's always nice. So I always like to have a little bit of refresher on both sides. And we actually didn't do his leg, the right leg, but we double checked to make sure that everything matched. So we're just going to do a little bit between the sides of the foot here. And that moves pretty nicely. Toes work pretty nicely. And let's see if they're kind of even.
Also, my side, the pain that I had there when I first sat down is basically gone.
Oh, good. All right, so we want that knee to bend when I push up. There it goes. Yay. All right, they kind of match. Whoop. Just a little more with this one. The hip. So when we bring legs up, everything has to move. Ankles, knees, hip. It did. Yay. Okay. we're going to recheck the sitting and standing, and that should be it. So let's see how that goes, and then we will summarize. So stay sitting.
Okay.
And so the one that was off was the sideways. So let's just make sure that the turns are still good. Yeah, in fact, they're perhaps a little bit easier. And going side to side is much easier, and it's very balanced, very symmetric. And I want to make your head up, because it seems like however you've been thrown off to the side, your head actually was a little bit off center. There we go. So just really gentle movements, refreshing how everything turns and moves sideways. All right, just stand up. Yeah, okay, how does it feel standing?
A lot better. A lot better.
Do you feel more centered, like weight on both feet?
Yeah, it really does. I mean, before this, when we started this, as soon as we were standing, I was immediately like shifting all my weight on the foot that was at issue. Now I feel that it's evenly spread between both of them, so I feel a lot more stable.
All right, so let's see how you move side to side. Oh my gosh, so easy, and both to left and right now. So yeah, all the motion that was missing to the left is now there. And turns, it's actually a bit of spring back, we call it, where if I turn him, his body just naturally comes back to the middle. And then going forward and back, oh sweet, I can feel the motion through the feet.
I can feel that too. Yeah. It's like I can feel my feet actually adjusting with the position.
Perfect. So also, I forgot to mention earlier, this looks really easy, but there's a whole process to go through with the problem solving and deciding how to approach the problem, and being able to split it into two parts. So what's the global, what's the specific? And so that's what we teach in our course, and the link for that is in the show notes. But if you've had something happen to you, a surgery on your foot or an injury or some other part of your body, and you want to get some help, just like what you've seen, you're able to make an appointment with us in the office, or even a virtual visit where you can have a friend, we can talk through doing some of the movements. So if you enjoyed this different way of looking at how the body works and how to put it back together, please give a like on this episode and subscribe to our channel so you get more of these episodes as they come out each week or every 2 weeks. All right, thanks, and see you next time.